Whoa. 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 Tap in with your kinfolk, you building a night. Got the keys to the city when the city is locked. Open your mind, you can see the culture defined. Through the music and lifestyle, get deep in the lines. Seeking you find, we just want our people to shine. On that platform, you can rewind. This is bigger than some content, you can decide. That the keys to the city podcast is a vibe. Tap in.
Yo, what's going on, family? Welcome back to another episode of Key to the City podcast. It's been a minute. You see, I got my words slurred and everything. Appreciate everybody that's still been supporting with your boy. Everything you do, like, share, and comment. Y'all know how I go. We still rolling. And this train will not be stopping anytime soon. We've been working heavily. I know we've been without episodes for the past 2 weeks, but we've been getting y'all ready for the Kinfolk Kickback going down Saturday, August 12th, 5 to 9 p.m. We jumping that thing off from 420 Medical down there on Woodrow Wilson. Y'all know where it's at. Please pull up on us. Jackson, Mississippi. We want love. We want camaraderie. And we just want to build with each other, build with your kinfolk. None of that foolishness. Security will be strictly enforced, so y'all come out there like you got some sense. And I'm happy to be back, man. I'm very excited about this episode. I got a special guest for y'all today, man. This gentleman, you know, on this platform, it's all about keys, giving people their flowers, and we definitely need to give this gentleman his story that has inspired me and millions of others across the world, and I'm sure it's going to do the same for you. The brother has an amazing story of resiliency, persistence, and just having the endurance to overcome regardless of your situation. You know, we need a lot of that encouragement this day and age with so much going on. But this gentleman, he's an author, motivational speaker. He's an advocate against distracted driving. He's a Memphis native, so you know he's right up the street. Holla at my Memphis folks up there. Man, what's happening, man? Shout out to all my Memphis folks. I used to live in Memphis back in 2007. I had left Ole Miss my junior year and went to University of Memphis, pursued music education or music business. But man, once they told me I had to take music theory, I had to get up out that thing, man. I just couldn't comprehend, but I may circle back. But I'm still behind the mic, as you see now. But yeah, let's keep this thing going. His story has been heard around the world. He's been on College Game Day, ESPN, Sports Center, ESPN TV, radio, Outside the Lines with Bob Lee. I know all my sports fans watched it, so you probably caught his story. But my man's life was forever altered when he was involved in a tragic car accident by a distracted driver, which unfortunately left him as a quadriplegic. But, you know, in most situations where most of us would fold, you know, he used that to climb his way back. And his story is just powerful. They also call him the wheelchair nomad. You dig that? He gets around. He's not letting nothing stop him. He's an international traveler, and he's visited many countries doing what he's going to do today, spreading the word about just having that persistence, ambition to achieve your dream and overcome whatever limitations or restrictions have been placed on you. So, man, without further ado, let's get into it and let this gentleman tell us why the sky is not the limit. Kinfolk, give it up for my kinfolk, Mr. Fletcher Cleaves. What's going on, big dog?
What is happening? What's happening?
Hey, man, you got everything, man.
Shout out to everybody from Memphis out there. You know, you hear me. What's happening, man? You know what I'm
Yeah. Hey, man, everybody got to have a dream, man. Yes, sir. How your day going so far?
The day going good. It's a little gloomy down here in Memphis. Like it's about to get ready to storm. So gonna be maybe locked in, running a few errands later on, but good. So far, so good. Can't complain.
Y'all got some heat out there?
Not today, but for sure, over the past couple of weeks, course of a couple of weeks, it's been too hot too early. Now 9 a.m. is already 88 degrees, But
Facts, man.
Dallas get the same type of situations, right?
Oh, man. We've been under a heat advisory for, I know, 2 or 3 weeks straight.
I hear you. Okay.
So it's rough out here, man. You take a shower as soon as you step out that thing, sweat.
Sweat, yeah. You gotta stay cool.
And there I go. But yeah, man, we glad to have you on, brother. Super excited to just learn more about your story. I told you off camera, had a chance to check out the commercials, the video, your website, and things just promoting your journey thus far, man. And it's been very powerful. So without me asking you a million questions up front just to get through your background, can you give my audience some background on your story? You can start with being a football star. And man, the football story hit home with me. I'm a small guy as well. I'm 5'7". And I think the video said you were like 5'8".
Yes, sir.
But we was fast and quick,
Yeah, quick.
And that was survival. And it was hard getting recruited as a small guy. I got recruited. Huh?
Unless you running a 4.3, 4.4,
that's
late. You gotta find other ways to shine.
Facts, you got to do that, man. I got recruited to a junior college out of high school, but my parents kind of persuaded me not to do it and tried to get me to walk on at Ole Miss. I'm like, oh, y'all trying to get me killed for real?
For real.
But yeah, just give us a little more background about your story, man.
Okay, yeah. As you mentioned, born and raised in Memphis, Tennessee, and kind of fell in love with sports at a young age. Kind of an active individual growing up. The epitome of boys will be boys. I was out there, running around, getting in trouble. Not no real trouble, just ding dong ditching and staying out past curfew, and just playing around, stuff like that. So, my parents, they wanted me to channel their energy into something more positive, so they started putting me in organized sports at a young age, and I played everything from baseball, basketball, track, soccer. It don't matter. Make sure Fletcher was busy year round, so you don't have no type of reason to be outside or be with the wrong crowd, so to speak. And then, in early 8th, 9th grade, I just fell in love with football. Then around towards the middle of the 9th grade season, I kind of realized, like, I'm kind of better than everybody else. I started at wide receiver and DB. And I think in the first, 3 games, I had 6 interceptions, or something like that. Yeah, so, I just fell in love. I was like, okay, I'm kind of better than everybody else. And then I just switched over to offensive receiver. When I got to varsity high school, everybody gave me doubts. And, Fletch, you sure you want to be able to play receiver in the varsity? You don't want to stick to DB? And one of the reasons why I switched because my coach, he gave me an opportunity to pick. He was like, you got to either pick one just to focus on one DB or receiver, because I went to a large high school. And throughout his 10 years of coaching there, he only had one player to play both ways. So he was like, hey, you're going to have to pick which one. And at the time, I was a freshman, and the guy who was a senior was the number 1 running back in the country.
Wow.
So if I play DB, I'm going to have to tackle jock. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I want to play receiver. So yeah, but then I fell in love with receiver. Was blessed enough to receive a scholarship. I perfected my craft, as you mentioned, being a shorter guy. And I left 2 days after high school graduation just to train and get my body, ready for the upcoming collegiate season. I didn't want to stay around all summer, joking around, playing around, and not putting the work in. So I left early. I left literally 2 days after high school graduation. And, I ended up gaining 25 pounds of muscle from the middle of May all the way up to the end of August and get in preparation for our first collegiate game. But unfortunately, on September 10th, 2009, my roommate and I were leaving Buffalo Wild Wings, the first NFL game of the season. It was the Steelers versus Tennessee Titans. And, me being from Tennessee, and he lived in D.C., but he was a Pittsburgh fan. So, I was like, oh, yeah, come on, baby. Let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings so we can talk trash. It's my roommate. We're going to talk good trash today.
Right.
my team, my home team versus your team. So he was like, I'm gonna chill in the room, man. He was kind of an introvert and I was an extrovert. Like, I'm like, hey man, let's go down to the UC. It's girls down there. It's jumping. The school just started. Everybody outside walking around. He was like, man, I'm gonna just chill. I was like, bro, come on. I'm not gonna let my roommate. Because as soon as I go down there, everybody gonna be like, Fletch, where Dane at? Where your roommate? Where your roommate? So man, you might as well come on. You new to the South. I'm gonna introduce you to some folks. So we go to Buffalo Wild Wings and get the wings to go. But on the way back, a lady was texting and driving and ran us off the road, causing us to flip into a ditch. And once we flipped into the ditch, the car rolled a couple of times and caved the roof in, which broke my neck in 2 places. And I was knocked unconscious and paralyzed immediately. And Dane was ejected from the vehicle, suffered his own injuries. But, throughout that whole situation, it's basically just trying to get my life back on track and trying to be an inspiration and just be a successful citizen of society.
Man. So I got so many avenues I want to take with this conversation.
Sure.
I guess first, what was your immediate reaction? I guess after the first 72 hours,
so
you had the chance to recount everything.
Yeah, everything sink in and listen to what the doctors were saying and everything like that. But I was 18 years young when it happened. Like I mentioned, I just had graduated high school, and I was blessed enough. I was raised in a 2-parent household, and with my mother and my father, and I didn't really have any real responsibilities because they really took everything and took care of everything and just made sure they said, hey, you just focus on school. That's all you focus on. So my responsibilities at that time in my life were 3 things: school, football, girls, in that order. That's the only thing I got to worry about. If I do good at school, perform well on the field, the third was going to take care of itself, So with that being said, when it happened, my first initial thought was, am I ever going to play football again? Not thinking, this is like, damn, football, you got a whole journey ahead of you, a whole life-changing journey ahead of you. But I really didn't understand what that meant at that moment in my life. But that was my first initial thought. Then the doctors came in after my first surgery because I had 2 surgeries on my neck. And, he was telling me things I wouldn't be able to do. He was like, what, Fletcher, you are paralyzed from the chest down. You would no longer be able to do X. You would no longer be able to do Y. You'd no longer be able to do Z. And he starts going on a list of things that I couldn't do. And as you said, being a smaller athlete, people always doubted us and just tell us what we couldn't do from the beginning. So my mind immediately reverted back to football and just used that negative energy he was putting out to make a positive out of it. And I remember laying in the bed in ICU and just trying to think outside the box and like come up with some type of phrase that I can continuously tell myself to keep myself motivated. And I was like, the doctor kept trying to put limitations on my life, and he don't know me like that. Who was he to tell me what I can and can't do? I'm like, the limit, you trying to put limitations on my life and no limits to life. Ain't no limits to life. I'm the only one that can tell me what my life can and cannot be. All the limitations are the ones you impose up here on yourself. So I'm like, no limit, no limit. So I thought I told you, I'm just playing around trying to think of something. And then I just felt, I was like, people always talk about the sky's the limit. Then I started thinking, the sky is the limit. How can we say the sky's the limit when there's footprints on the moon? So with that being said, there are no limitations to what you can achieve. There are no limitations because people tell you the sky's the limit, but that ain't even true within itself. People done been on the moon. And so I just adopted this saying, so the sky is not the limit. The sky is not the limit. The sky is not the limit. The only limitations are the ones you impose on yourself. When people try to put limitations on your life, they're just projecting their insecurities onto you. Hey, man, you can't do that. Nah, bro, you can't do that. Don't tell me what I can't do. You know what I'm saying? So I just that saying, and it's got me through a lot of things, ups and downs throughout this entire journey.
What were the mental battles like? Were there any bouts with depression?
I wouldn't necessarily say depression. It was more so like what am I going to do next? Like, what's my next move? What's my next play? I've always been extremely goal oriented. Like, all right, this is what it is. What are my goals to get at this hospital, and how fast can I accomplish those goals? But the mental battle was, being 18 years young, being that full of life and full of energy and full of youth. And, you know, we had been talking about the past 4 years from 9th to 12th grade, what we're going to do in college. How's college going to be? What we going to go on our first spring break? What we going to, you know, all these, how the season going to go? I wonder how the bus ride's going to be, how the plane ride's going to be, what they're going to feed us. All these things I was looking forward to my freshman year. I realized that I probably will never get to experience. And that was more so the mental battle, the mental stress, so to speak. But I've kind of always been mentally strong for myself, just always fighting through pain, and team sports, and especially football, has taught me to just fight through anything and be a better man for yourself, and, you know, do it for your teammates, and, you know, don't let nobody down. So I use that mentality to get over this obstacle.
So there was never a moment where you were thinking like, my life is over, and because, you know, the average person thinks their life is over for the most minor things. People have taken their lives for the most minor thing. We may deem it as minor, look on the outside looking in, but a life-altering experience like that, knowing that you would probably need assistance for the rest of your life, like you have some mental fortitude that I've never seen before. Like, was that instilled in you as a child, or just by us having that underdog spirit, it was just naturally how you operate?
Yeah, so it's definitely, you know, instilled in me as a child. But to answer your first question, no, I never had a thought of my life is over. It was always my life is different. And I'm not saying I wasn't depressed, but I never thought it was over. Like, I was like, I'm the place. Like, you're going to be, if ain't nobody never done it, you can do it. You've been proving people wrong your whole life. And your second question, yeah, it was instilled to me, you know, as a child, growing up in the suburbs, you know, kind of being few of not married, really Black kids around, and just kind of always having to go the extra mile. Like, no, I can't make an A. I got to make an A+, because I don't, you know, just to outshine and outmove like that, you know. I can't just score. I can't have 5 catches. I got to have 10. I got to have, you know, 3 touchdowns or whatever the case. And so, and my parents just always tell me, never give up on yourself, and don't let anybody tell you what you can and can't do. You know, you make your own decisions. You know, this famous Black saying, your parents, so-and-so, I ain't worried about so-and-so. That ain't my child. Well, can I go to the movies? Johnny going. Johnny ain't my son. You ain't going.
Right.
Or whatever, you know. So I learned how to be my own individual and not follow the crowd. Definitely made me mentally tougher than my peers, so to speak.
What happened to the woman that caused the accident?
So she was on the wrong side of the road, and technically it was a one-car accident because she was coming towards us, and I swerved to miss her. And when I swerved, I just hydroplaned and hit the rail. But she kept going. Like, she didn't even stop. You know, forensics came in and did their thing. They, you know, found the car. And I think, like, of course, it was like stolen or something like that. But, you know, they never found the person that caused the crash. And, like, I've never met her. You know, I thought about it like maybe for a couple of hours, but there was no point in me, you know, crying over spilled milk, so to speak, because I realized it wasn't bringing anything positive to my life. By being mad at this woman, it's only bringing me down.
Yeah, I was going to ask if you had the opportunity to meet her. But did you say the car was stolen? Yeah,
so, like, my parents, they kept a lot of that information away from me because they didn't want me to be upset and stuff like that. But from what I recollected, what I remember, like, maybe it was stolen, or like it was something where the forensics came in, they found a similar vehicle or something. Okay, or something like that. But I would say, yeah, they never got a hold of her.
You a strong brother, man. When did the wheelchair nomad and the international traveling aspect of everything come about?
Oh yeah, so boom. So I'm hurt. I'm in therapy an entire year. I go back to college, and while I'm in therapy, I'm sitting there watching all my friends, all my people, my teammates, everybody live their freshman life. You know, they kicking it, they taking pictures in the UC, they going on spring break trips and all this stuff. So I'm like, I want to go back too. Like, I want to experience this. So boom, I go back to college, University of Memphis. And long story short, one of the spring breaks, they was like, I was like, hey, let's take a trip where I can go on. I'm kind of newly injured. I can't really go to the Floridas yet, or all the stuff I'm going to. And I've always been a charismatic individual. I've always had a lot of friends. I've been an extrovert from all my former teams, all my teammates I still keep in contact with, all the people I went to middle school and high school with. I won most athletic in my superlative in high school. So I knew a lot of people. And I went to a lot of summer camps and bridge builders and math camps and all that stuff. So I met a lot of people that were outside of my community as well. And so when I went to college, they was like, you know what? Yeah, we gonna, take a little trip, so Fletch can kick it and whatever the case may be. So we go from Memphis to Nashville, 3-hour drive. I'm probably 20 years old at this time. And just being around my peers and just being in that kicking environment, man, it was such because this was the first time I've been without my parents for more than 4 or 5 hours at a time. So we weren't even really doing it. We were just in the mall, went to the movies, went out to eat, just kicking it, playing, throwing Skittles at each other, just having a good time and just being, 20-year-old college students. And I fell in love with that aspect. So I'm like, man, that was so much fun. Y'all, I ain't had that much fun since I've been in a wheelchair. So we do that. Then we go to, we do Nashville again. Then we go to Mardi Gras. Then we try to venture out. Then we go to Dallas. We get Six Flags, Papa Do's, all that stuff. We took a 15-passenger van. It was 12 of us. And imagine that car ride, that 6-hour car ride with 12 of y'all is, it's co-ed and everything. So it's fun. We in there tripping and laughing and kicking it and, all that fun stuff. And fell in love with that. And then we started trying to venture out like, hey, let's go somewhere on a plane. Then we go to like LA, then we go to Vegas a couple of times. And then we go to all these domestic cities. And then I look at my finances. I'm like, hey, yo, Fletch, you've been to Vegas like 3 times this year. You've been to Chicago twice. How much is a flight to Italy? So I looked at it. I'm like, boom, I can go to Italy. So, I scheduled it. I hit my peoples up. They like, yeah, let's go. I posted on Facebook and somebody was like, hey, Fletch, Paris is only like an hour plane ride from Italy. I'm like, oh, book it. I'm already over here anyway. So let's do it. And then I post that, and somebody else was like, hey, London is only an hour train ride from Paris. Hey, book it. Let's do that too. And my friend's like, hey, Fletch, that's enough. 3 cities, 3 countries. We here for 10 days. We can't do everything in one trip. And I just started doing it. I started traveling. I fell in love with international travel at that aspect with different cultures, different experiences, religion, history, and all this stuff. So I started out. I go to Dubai. I go to Barbados. I go to DR. I go to Spain. Like I go to all these different countries to, just get that international experience and just see how other people live across the world. What are different foods and what, even though we live in America and like you got your Cajun food and you got your New York food and you got your LA food but it's kind of still all similar, so to speak. But when you go to different countries, different culture, whole different experiences. And I fell in love with that, venturing out and getting that life experience. And people just started, they was like, dude, you everywhere. You've been everywhere. You've been everywhere. And somebody was like, you like a nomad. And I was like, me being silly, I was like, yeah, call me the wheelchair nomad. And it just stuck. And people just started really calling me that. And I started joining travel groups. And now I'm speaking at travel conferences as the wheelchair nomad.
And I'm sure that requires a team, which we were speaking about off camera. How were you able to get the team together to even want to aid you in getting your story out and just creating this overall journey and providing a foundation for the wheelchair nomad?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I'm an extrovert. I'm a great networker. I love meeting new people. But honestly, everybody on that list except the new guy on there, the white guy, so to speak. But everybody else on there, I've been knowing since I was in the 4th grade, 3rd grade. So they was already, they was like, I was like, hey, I want to put this nonprofit together. I need some help. And I just hit up my boy like, hey, you an accounting major, you a finance, you a finance manager at a Fortune 500 company. And just, hey, can you help me with these books? And he was like, bro, you ain't even got to ask. I got you. He was my old lineman in high school. He was like, bro, you ain't got to ask. I got you. I hit up my homegirl. I was like, hey, yo, you good at, you're good at being a secretary. You always kept good notes in high school and college. Like, she used to come over and kick it with me and help me write notes for college, and because we went to the same college or close colleges. And so, boom, she was like, "Yeah, I'll be your secretary, Fletcher. You ain't even got to ask." And just those, those relationships, and forming the team. And I was like, "Bro, we believe in you. We believe in your mission. We've seen the progress you've made. We've known you from walking flesh to disabled flesh. We saw what happened to you in the hospital. Like, we know your story. We've lived your story. We've helped you. It's the same people that went with me to Mardi Gras, the same people that went with me to Vegas, the same people that went with me to Italy. Like, bro, we've seen what you've been going through. So whatever you need, bro, just let us know. And now I got to change."
Powerful, bro. Mm-hmm. Relationships are currency, people. Remember that. What's your ultimate goal with this, Fletch? What's your ultimate goal with spreading your word?
Man, ultimate goal, I just want to be considered one of the best. And it doesn't matter what that may entail, one of the best speakers, one of the best travelers, one of the best disabled people, just something of the best. And like, I just try to do that. That's my internal goal. But of course, externally, I want to inspire the world. And I want to be a beacon of light to let people know that, no matter what you go through in life, there are ups and downs, there are trials and tribulations. We all go through adversity. Like, you've been through it, I've been through it. Your mama been through it, your daddy been through it. How that's only me, you, your mama, your daddy, your sister, your cousin too. Everybody's been through adversity, but it's not what happens to you that defines you. It's how you respond to it. How you gonna respond when you don't make the football team? How you gonna respond when you get let go from your job? How you gonna respond when you're 18 years old and become paralyzed? How are you gonna respond when you're going through the divorce? Whatever the case may be, how are you gonna respond when adversity hits? Because it's coming, and if it ain't came, or if it hasn't already came. And I chose to respond in a positive manner. I just want everybody to do the same, and just also, talk about safe driving. Let them know that a car is not a toy. It's just my car crash caused simply by somebody not paying attention. They weren't drunk. They're simply somebody not paying attention. Alter my life or forever. So it's bring safety, bring awareness, inspire, and travel the world and meet great people.
Put those phones down, people. They're texting and driving. I'm talking to myself as well. We definitely got to do better, because you can definitely not only harm yourself, but definitely harm others and impact their lives in ways that you couldn't even imagine. So let this man's story basically speak for itself, and take heed.
Yeah, man, it's dangerous out there. Over almost 4,000 people die every year simply by somebody not paying attention. Whether that's eating while they're driving, on the phone while they're driving, texting while they're driving, just daydreaming, running through red lights. And like, man, I was thinking about what I was going to do when I get home. I was thinking about what I got to do next weekend, and just not paying attention.
All right. You have to drive for yourself and others. How can people keep up with your story and everything you got going on and different events you'll be at?
Oh, yeah. Just you can reach out to me on all socials, but the best way is probably just go to Fletchercleaves.com. You got your link to my Instagram on there. You got different videos of me getting thrown off of cliffs in Mexico and skydiving. And
what?
Yes, sir.
I didn't see that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, I went skydiving last August, a year ago. Yep, and you know what? It was actually a first date.
Wow.
Yep. It was, she was, we was kicking it, whatever, and I was like, we met at a party. Long story short, we met at a party, and we had been texting. I was like, hey, I'm kind of feeling you. She was like, I'm feeling you too. I was like, you for real? She was like, yeah. I was like, prove it. Let's go skydiving. Like,
what? Yeah. Man, you putting me to shame. You really out here living. Speaking of dating, no offense, and I don't want to seem ignorant, but can you still?
You hear me? Oh yeah, it's still do what it needs to do.
Okay, there it is.
Still do what it needs to do.
Look at God.
I know that's what, of course, like I said, school football girls, when I stopped playing football, of course, what the second thought was. I was like, hey, Doc, what's going on down there? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
He was like, man, everybody responds differently. We just gotta wait when that time comes. But right now, you need to work out getting out of ICU, son. Yeah, I got time to be thinking about that.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, one thing at a time.
Well, bro, man, we showed enough. Appreciate you stopping through, bro. Giving us some of your time, man. Powerful story, man. Hopefully, I get to meet you in person one day.
For sure. Yeah, and as I mentioned, man, everybody, please reach out to me at Fletchercleaves.com. If you know anybody looking for a motivational speaker, if you know anybody looking for a second market advocate, or if you just would like to donate to my nonprofit and my cause and all that stuff, we definitely need everyone's support, especially coming out of COVID. You know, we kind of took a big hit with that. So please donate if y'all can, or just if you know somebody looking for a speaker, high schools, conferences, check me out.
I'm gonna definitely spread the word. And kinfolk, we definitely are gonna donate. I need everybody to donate this week. I lead by example. And you can copy a shirt on there as well if you want to have a visual representation.
Yeah, book. Like you mentioned in the beginning, I am an author. Amazon best-selling author within the first 72 hours of it being on Amazon.
Pop it all.
That was a big accomplishment for myself. And that just shows the support that my team and I have. You know, literally when I posted it on my birthday, and within the first 72 hours, the Amazon bestseller top 10 on the charts. And
my man, I love to read. It's still up there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Y'all definitely go cop that. I'm gonna give me a copy. And brother, I sure appreciate you, man. I wish you nothing but love, peace, happiness, continued blessings. Continue to doing the Lord's work, man, and spreading this message. And we all need to hear it, man. We all need to be able to. I say one of the greatest skills to have is the ability to cope and to respond in a positive way.
In a positive way, yes, sir.
Oh, last question. So, do you ascribe to the motto that there are no such thing as excuses?
Or
it's different for everyone?
No such thing as excuses, because you can have an excuse. But the thing is, excuses are monuments of nothingness for all my Greek people.
Come on.
Yeah, for all my Greek people out there.
Yeah.
You Greek?
Phi Beta.
Okay. I'm a Q. I'll make a side.
Okay.
Yeah. So excuses are monuments of nothingness. So it's not. My thing is this: the person who says they can and the person who says they can't are both right. Which one will you be? And like, as long as you identify yourself as a positive individual and start your day off with positivity, and just, you know, you can have an excuse, but don't let that excuse stop you from achieving whatever the case may be. And I hate to, also when it comes to excuses, my football coach used to say this all the time, and it may not be the best thing to say now with the mental health awareness going on these days, but he used to say that all the time, like, nobody cares. Nobody cares that your girlfriend left you. Nobody cares that you know, whatever you're going through, nobody cares. What are you going to do to get over it and be a better man and go out there and perform to your best abilities? So I get what he was trying to say is, like, you might be going through something, and first off, people do care. So if you're dealing with something out there, you think nobody cares, please go talk to somebody, go get some professional help, wherever the case may be. But we were saying, like, you sitting there crying, oh, I failed my math test, I can't really, bro, get up. Yeah. Like, get shit together. Come on.
Study harder.
Yeah, study harder. Like, you know what the problem is. What are you going to do to fix it? Stop crying about it, you know, just do what you got to do.
There it is. And we're going to leave it on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, hope y'all got these keys today and you can apply them to your life and unlock that untapped potential and strive to be your best, man. No excuses. Who better to say it than I guess today, Mr. Fletcher Cleaves. Fletch, dog, I appreciate you, man. We'll definitely be in touch, brother.
Absolutely. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for having me. Thank you for listening.
For sure. Be easy.
Mm-hmm.